What up, guys and grills? Me, Josh here, and Nica Demas bringing you another episode of Warship Weekly, a weekly podcast on World of Warships. What's going on with the game? What changes are coming, and how I've been playing this past week. Nica, what up, bro?
Not much, man. Not much. Just hanging. How are you? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. Ready for a new week of Warships. Some stuff that's happened recently. I got to play some team battles with the Wargaming stream. That was pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah. How was it?
I mean, ended up playing 14 games. We tried in 13 of them, and we won all 13 of those. And then we kind of were running out of time. We had about a 3 hour window. We actually won all of them besides the last one because we went all cruisers the last one and kind of just we basically just hit W and started shooting things, and we actually killed a few of their ships really quick, and we could have won that game actually. We just kind of whatever, F it, let's just keep going. But that was a lot of fun though. It was a lot of fun. We might end up doing it this week too. It was a blast. Got to hang out with a couple of streamers. Brain Cage was there. Ochisms was there. Thoughtgore. A couple of other guys were there too, and then a couple Q was there. A couple other guys from Wargaming were there. So it was actually kind of fun. It revitalized team battles a little bit for me, but it's like, okay, we were done, and it's not like, okay, let's keep playing team battles. It was just like, all right, well, I was just kind of done with it, and we kind of saw the same teams a few times, so it kind of showed me that team battles has lost some steam. We talked about it last week.
Yeah. So were you guys doing this on your own accounts on the American server, NA server, or
Yeah, we were on
test accounts?
NA server, and then Wargaming just makes like a new team every week, just kind of see like we tied the record for most wins in a row, and we could have beaten it, but then we're like, whatever, let's just do cruise, let's just have fun the last game, and it really showed. Man, I played the Farragut a lot. Like that was like the ship I played. Man, for tier 6 destroyers, I was like, oh man, Anshan all the way, dude. Farragut, I did try hard. Took my Benson captain over there, wrecked people, wrecked people. I'm like, it's like super stealthy, super good. It was actually a lot of fun. But no, it was cool though. But yeah, we played with Wargaming's team, so that was a lot of fun.
For me in team battles, the Farragut's been my go-to as well. It just feels like the right ship for that tier, the fives and sixes.
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people are like going for the Grem, and Shan's also very popular. Like Kamikaze and those with the high level captain are pretty solid too. I just feel like they're very stealthy, but like if you get caught by like a Farragut, you're just so dead, to guns. And so that's why I feel like the Farragut's just super strong. I don't know if anybody else noticed. I believe it's Wargaming. They put up a leaderboard for team battles, and it was actually pretty cool. The insane thing is some of the win rates. Like some of the teams had like 95% win rates or something like that. It was I don't know if you got to kind of look it over, but some of the ratings in the Alpha League and everything like that. It was cool that they set that up, but it was like it's insane some of the percentages.
It goes to show the power of having 4 to 7 highly coordinated individuals all working on Discord together versus a team of randoms or a few people in a division. So yeah,
Absolutely.
certainly.
Yeah, it was one thing though, it's there's a couple teams. I mean it's still just so seal clubbing. It's just going out there and just beating the hell out of people that just aren't as I mean, you get 5, 6 capable players and you're just gonna run the table, which all these teams that are really high ranked are. I mean right now the matchmaking, you start at Charlie, you go to Bravo, and you get to Alpha, the higher ranked you go. And you don't play like only Bravo or only Alpha, you're queuing people at 5100 rating, 5000 rating, and you're still getting teams at 3900, and you start at 4000. It's like if you want to get some friends together that are decent at the game to just go beat the shit out of like people, just make a team. 99, 95 out of 100 people are going to be relatively lower skilled if you know you're capable. And right now there's just nothing to play for. When the Wargaming's doing their thing, it's 500 for a win, 250 for a loss, so you get some extra doubloons. But it's like if you're just playing to play, unless you're leveling up a ship, there's nothing really to play for. I'm excited for them to kind of add in a reward system. I know Q, one of the guys from Wargaming, mentioned that they might start throwing in some kind of flags. At least like detonation flags or certain flags, at least getting the flags you get back. Something like that, because I mean I ran out of detonation, but I'm out of detonation flags on my account, and I'm like, when can rank start so I can get some more detonation flags? And it's like you just now I'm gonna have to play with the complete risk of being detonated now, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seems like there's just a lack of a carrot on a stick when it comes to
Absolutely.
the battles right now. The one thing that I think we can say at this point that might be handy or helpful or good is it's hopefully a precursor to clan battles and a
Yeah.
clan type setup similar to what we see in World of Tanks. This is the precursor to that, I'm hoping, and is giving wargaming data that they need to kind of help them structure that eventual setup.
Yep.
So, and that's what we all really want, right? I mean, this is just kind of that interim step. It partially is maybe to satiate some folks that are like, come on, give us something more than a 3-team division. It's not exactly what we want, but it's a good way to play with more than just 3 people, right? So,
and even it's 5 and 6 on NA, and I believe on the Asian server as well. And even Q even said that once the season does start, once it officially starts, it'll be 7 and 8. So I was really happy to hear that like we weren't going to be stuck at 5 and 6. So I'm really excited. I think those tiers are a lot of fun. So looking forward to team battles, and I'm looking forward to next ranked season as well.
Any news on when that started? I haven't seen anything on the board.
I haven't seen anything either, so we'll have to sit and wait. But how have you, kind of jokingly, how is your World of Warship? How have you been playing this last week?
Well, Josh, it's a sad state. I've come down with a disease known as BDO. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's a massively multiplayer game that was released last Thursday by a Korean company. And it's something I've been kind of checking out. And my gaming history is far more involved in that space in terms of Diablo and WoW and other games of that ilk and stuff. So I've been checking that out, and wargaming, due to its lack of content and things that I'm really interested in. We talked about carrots on a stick just recently with team battles. For me, there's a lack of a stick in general. So for me, I've been kind of testing the waters with some other games this week.
Taking a break. Playing in the Black Desert Online. For those who don't know what BDO is, he's not playing he's not tying up and getting whipped by somebody with a whip or something like that.
Right?
Yeah, he's playing well, that's good. I mean, I think a lot of people are taking a break. That's something we'll kind of get on a little bit later. I'm seeing a lot of people playing other games. Division's out today. Stardew Valley is getting a lot of hype on that. People just taking a break from the game because we're in this lull. Like I said, we'll kind of diverge back onto our plan a little bit and kind of hit that a little bit later. But you've been taking a break from the game. Me, I've still been trucking. And I've been playing lots of high tiers, and one thing that's I've kind of been playing. I've been playing lots of 8s, lots of 9s, lots of 10s, and still working to get the Keveros tier 10 Russian destroyer. Still working on the Shima, working on the Rune, the Baltimore. So I'm playing all these tier 9s, and I've actually been having some hard times. It seems like it's been very, very, very hard to keep a consistent win record up. I don't know why. Biddy, who's another one of the mods, play with him a lot on high tiers. Even when we have like some great players, 3 people, where it seems like in 6s and 7s and 8s, 3 people can kind of carry a lot, and it just seems like these high tiers, we're just like, how did we lose these games? We had the better ships. How are we losing these? And I think I found a theory, Nica. One thing is, I think we're losing a lot of the higher skilled players, like yourself. These people are taking a break from the game who are used to seeing, in the past, if you saw a Shima, if you saw a Gearing, if you saw a Fletcher, a Yamato, an Iowa, these really good ships, and there's a reason why I pick mainly destroyers and battleships, is you're like, okay, they're going to be a decent player, we can kind of count on them. And nowadays, it just seems like we're getting this wave of people, maybe these lower skilled players are now getting into these high tiers. And I think high tiers are going through a pretty big growing pain section where there's a lot of people who are now, for the first time, getting into these 8, 9, 10 queues that this is their first time. They've been in the 8 and under, and it's a different game there. It's a little more easy, and you get into those 8, 9, 10s, and when you're a Yamato, you're kind of expected to be able to pump out some damage. When you're in a Gearing, a Shima, you're expected to be able to pump out some damage. I haven't seen so much of it in cruisers. I still feel like high tier cruisers are really, really strong. You see a Zal player at Hindenburg at Des Moines. They have been playing pretty good. I've seen that. It's mainly destroyers. It's these 9s and 10s that I've seen that, like, how did you just die? You are advantage. You just died. And then, of course, in battleships, all of a sudden, your Yamato on your team is sailing broadside or pushed way too far, and your advantage of having this big, bad battleship is just gone.
high tiers, right? The gameplay, the meta shifts drastically, I'd say, in your especially starting at tier 9 and 10. There's no more room for lone wolfing. You need to know your ships a lot better, right? You need to know how they're to be played, and you need to be able to play them effectively, or you're really a detriment to your team. And that's no more clear than in those high tier matches. And it's something that I've experienced frustration with too, and trying to adjust to it. Because the lower tiers and even into the sevens and eights, the gameplay is far more aggressive. There's far more movement, right? And the game just kind of slows down a little bit and becomes a little bit more tactical in and it might not be for everybody. And as you like you said, you see more and more of these folks that are finally like the non-premium folks that haven't had premium accounts.
And
And
it may just be maybe I had a bad week. It's only been the past week, and it's just like maybe I'm getting a little burnt out, and maybe I'm getting a little salty because I'm just am getting burnt out. But it's like only recently, high tiers were so much fun, but it seems like this past week I don't know what it was, but this past week it's like these high tier games. It's like man, it just seems you really 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 have to bust your ass even just have a chance to win. We're kind of looking at my stats on warshipstats.com, and we were just checking them out, and like, man, it's like my win rate, even biddies is almost the same pattern. We had a pretty high win rate beforehand, then instantly last week, it's just like boom, and then of course, then yesterday we were kind of evened out. So maybe it was just a bad week. Who knows? Maybe take a day, play a different game, couple days, and just let this ship sit in port, and then come back to it, and then the fresh view, and maybe you're good to go. Maybe that's what I need to do, man. Shore leave.
short leave, right? Exactly. Take a little breather.
There you go.
Now, I know you had mentioned in the pre-stream powwow that you had been seeing even more carrier playing. I know we talked about it last podcast, the return of carriers. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? Tell us a little bit more about that, how it's affected your high tier games or mid tier games.
Well, there was a huge influx. There was a recent competition for a Saipan, actually. So tier 4 carriers were loaded. I don't think I saw, for the few tier 4, I don't play tier 4s too much, only when viewers want to play those low tiers. I don't think I saw in the past couple days a game that didn't have at least one, and most of them had two on each team. There was like the highest base experience gets a Saipan, so that was pretty cool for Wargaming to hold that, or if it was somebody just on the forums or whatnot. So those are full, but yeah, I've been seeing a lot more throughout the tiers. 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, all the way up to, I mean, not too many 10s. You see some 9s, but lots and lots and lots of 8s. And it's been pretty good, because it balances out the teams. It really, really does. It keeps destroyers in check, and it keeps the vision up. It keeps that aggression up. It makes cruisers a little worthwhile. But the main thing though is, man, carriers are fucking striking down carriers like no other. If like me as a player, if I don't see enemy planes and I'm rolling with a carrier on my team, if I don't see enemy planes in the first 3-4 minutes, I'm like, dude, get your planes back. This dude's coming for you. And it seems like everybody is striking down the enemy carrier. That's the go-to move. I don't tend to do that when I play carriers. I tend to just kind of like get the damage out. But holy shit, our carriers, they want blood. They want carrier blood in the water ASAP.
Eliminate the opponent at all costs, huh?
Well, I mean,
It's a high risk thing too, though, because it takes so long for those planes to traverse the entire map and then get all the way back and then serviced and back in again. So if you fail and you don't take that carrier out, that's probably at least 3-4 minutes out of a
if not
20-minute
more.
game. Yeah, where your planes are effectively out of the battle, where they could have done maybe 2 strikes in that same time.
I'm kind of like, I want to just start pumping out damage. I want to start scouting. I want to start scouting the destroyers. I want to start getting damage on those guys. The faster you take out the destroyers, the kind of you're in charge of the game almost, and then worry about the. I don't quite play that way, but I haven't played carriers that much recently, so maybe that's the new meta. But so many USNs are going pure strike, so there's no fighter to even protect themselves. So maybe they're saying, I don't have any protection anyway, besides maybe like a pocket cruiser with its AA ability. So I'm just going to try to kill this guy ASAP. A Lexington rolling pure strike, a Ranger, and an Essex running pure strike, and saying, I don't quite have the defense that I used to have, and so I'm just going to go for it. And then the faster I kill this guy, with dive bomber damage being increased, I don't have to worry about them, and I can just start wrecking everybody else. Maybe that's the new mentality. It's the best defense is an offense almost.
I have to wonder if some of this increase in carrier play is a result of people dusting off the old carriers, taking them out of port, and going out and getting refamiliarized with carriers as a result of the new premium carrier that's been announced, and just kind of the ebb and flow of the game too, right? To some degree, like certain ships fall out of favor for a while, then they kind of swing back, and that sort of thing. I have to wonder if that's partially behind this increase in carrier play. Would you say that battleships are also? I know you mentioned destroyers are being kept in check, right? Would you also say that maybe battleships are also getting kind of kept in check and having to be a little bit more careful on the seas of battle as well?
Well, like I said, I think it's and then maybe and it's maybe the Saipan giving a little bit of a boost, but I think it's the USN line having this new style of play. The Lexington tended to be a very um, defensive, two fighters, a dive bomber, and a torpedo. Now it has the 1-1-1, so people are kind of saying fuck it. Maybe people are enjoying this new YOLO strike. I see so many strike packages, and I mean a strike Lexington versus a battleship is bad news for that battleship. You know, a Tirpitz going like a strike Lexington going against a Tirpitz. Oh my god, that you just maybe torp him, come back with your 3 dive bombers, he's dead. I was just editing a highlight where I was playing the Midway on a test server a little while ago, probably about a month ago, and it was the Lexington, and it wasn't that long ago. It was the latest test patch where they changed the dive bombers, and I dived on an Amagi. I torped him, held on to my dive bombers. He repaired, waited, and then I dropped the 3 sets of dive bombers with air supreme, so 21 dive bombers, and I think I hit him for 27k and 4 fires. That dude is dead. That dude is dead. There's no way. So I think definitely battleships have to be careful. Not only do they worry about cruiser fire, but there are so many more dive bombers that hit hard and have a really good chance of setting stuff on fire, especially the USN, because there's so many that you definitely have to be aware of where these planes are. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, there's many a time in my Tirpitz or my Amagi when I'm engaged in fire and maybe just wasn't paying attention to the skies for a brief moment, and suddenly it's all over. Like you don't have time to react. Those planes are coming in, and it's just like, well, I'm gonna take my medicine and pray I survive this. So
Absolutely.
Definitely can have a huge impact on the battle.
Yep. And we'll see if the pattern, maybe it's just this new style of play, maybe it is a Saipan, but it's good to see carriers back in the game. It's really annoying as a destroyer player, but oh shit, everything's going to see my torps. They're not as stealthy and strong, but I think it definitely rebalances out the game. It makes it more well-rounded. It's good to see him back. I'm happy, man.
Yeah, carrier is the class everybody loves to hate.
Absolutely.
Did they, for our viewers' sake, did they announce what tier the Saipan is going to be, or was there information on that?
I haven't seen anything that announcement. My guess is it's going to be a 6, although it did replace the Bogue replaced it, which was a 5. So 5 or 6, I'd be willing to bet money on that. I think 6 is perfect, but if they're keeping with where it was, then 5 would be how it would where it would land. So we have a new patch coming up tomorrow on the 9th, and you know more about it, so I'll kind of let you get into it a little bit. But it seems like we're going to have some different choices, a more universal choice for camo, and some other little, it's a pretty small patch. It's not the big patch that we'll talk about in just a bit, but how about you dive into what's being released tomorrow?
Sure, yeah, for sure. So for those that want to know, it's 0.5.3.2, and we've got 4 camos that are called out in this particular set of patch notes released by Wargaming. There's a Type 5 camouflage, which is a combination of the previous 2 types of camo, or it's kind of if those 2 camos had a baby or something. So it gives a 3% bonus to concealment, and a -4 accuracy to enemies firing at you. So you kind of get to double up there with your camouflage. And there's an additional Type 6 camo as well, which gives that same 3% bonus to concealment, 4% accuracy to enemies firing at you, and in addition also grants 100% XP for battles. So they're kind of stacking the camos up and almost tiering them in a way. with these types here, which is good to see. And then there's some notes on special camouflages, such as your Halloween, ranked battle, New Year's, and stuff that grant bonuses to concealment and negative modifiers to the enemy accuracy when firing at you. And then permanent camouflages, which would be those found on premium ships, that sort of thing. They now grant a discount for repair costs, as well as a discount for tier 9 ships of 5%, so and 10% on the premiums. So what I'm curious about is, are they going to let you somehow stack camos as well? It almost seems to suggest that they might.
But there's I don't know if they'll let them stack, but it seems like it's going to help, because you can also run the flag on top of that for post-battle repair cost. So that seems kind of nice. You know, people have a hard enough time affording high tiers, so I mean, this is assuming that it's going to be a freestyle. Maybe it's just going to be the premium one that costs doubloons, but it's a nice way to play high tiers and then maybe being able to actually afford it too.
Right, and I know we talked about that last week, so that'll definitely be nice to get, what is it, 15 or 20% reduction in ship cost between a flag and a camo.
Yeah.
And it's also just more variety, right? I mean, more variety is never bad. It allows you to kind of play your way if you want to focus on min-maxing your ship or grinding, you now can do so, which is great. And then in addition to that, there's some visual changes. I won't go into the details of that, but needless to say, some turrets and minor visual mods, stuff like that. Yep.
The camo seems to be the main part, but I wish they just had premium, like the Atago. Like, I don't run the premium camo on the Atago because cruisers are defaulted to the 4% hit, by negative hit chance, but I want the detectability, so I wish there was a way for that. So maybe this will change that, and we can move forward. But the big patch that we're kind of all looking forward to, and Wargaming's kind of hinted at with this event, basically like teasing us, is the Russian cruisers, and hopefully that will be coming up soon. From what I heard, they're already on the test server, so hopefully they'll be testing those and we can get our hands on them pretty quick. It's not the battleship line that I think will really help Wargaming out right now. It's another cruiser line. You know, the latest two lines were a destroyer line and a cruiser line. Here's another cruiser line. But, you know, hopefully, I'm excited to play it because I'm running out of stuff to play.
Any new tier is a good tier, in my opinion, at this point. I mean, it's been quite a while since we've seen something other than a premium ship released here and there, reskin this and that's called this, and flies its flag under a different nation and stuff. That helps you can grind credits is great, but it's not new content that gives us that longevity of gameplay, right? And this cruiser line will certainly help with that.
Definitely. I mean, I would consider myself a cruiser player, so I'm excited to play it. Excited to test it, get our hands on it. Hope it comes relatively quickly to give us something to play. I'm running out, and this is a perfect transition onto the current state of the game section. There is a lack of content, and you've been taking a week break playing Black Desert or Darkest Desert, Black Desert.
Black Desert Online.
There it is. I was thinking Darkest Dungeon. I was getting those two mixed up. There's a lack of content. There's nothing to do, and I, who have still been playing it nearly every day, I have definitely seen a dip in player numbers. Even on the weekends, it was hitting 15K on North American server, at least, not the EU server or other servers, but we were hitting pretty close to 15K prime time on Saturdays, even close to Friday nights. We're getting into the 13, 14. Now on a normal night, we're having trouble breaking 10K, 11K, and there's a definite lack of content. People in my chat are taking breaks. They're just there to kind of hang out, and we need more stuff. Hopefully these cruisers help.
Like we said earlier, it's a much needed addition to the game, and it certainly can hopefully revitalize some people, and I've got some ideas on how I want to revitalize my own gameplay within World of Warships, so definitely a good thing, I think, having some new content released.
Well, you just mentioned that you might be making your welcome back to Wargaming and to the Warships, and you have any idea what you're going to play?
I don't, and that's actually what I want to discuss. So, get a hold of us at Warships Weekly at Gmail, or leave a comment in the YouTube video once it's posted. I want you guys to help me decide what tier to grind next.
So we need to help Nica decide what he's going to play. I will put a straw poll in the description down below. You guys pick which tree you think Nica should work on. I know he's up to Fletcher-ish on the USN line. So not too much more to go there. So we'll probably take out the USN destroyers. Are you really high tier in anything else? Because I kind of Izumo, right?
Izumo on the Japanese BB side, so that can probably be scrapped as
Okay.
well.
So basically everything else besides carriers.
Carriers too. Throw them in.
They're all
All the
men. Fuck
carriers.
it. All right, cool.
Yep.
We'll add everything but those two lines, and so you guys pick Nika's Destiny and let him know what to pick. I've had a lot of fun in the Russian destroyers, German cruisers, definitely. So there's lots to play there. Japanese cruisers, very good. But yeah, you guys decide. We'll pick his Destiny. But anything else, Mr. Nica?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
There you go. We need more content. Wargaming, please send us more ships.
Yes, pray to the wargaming gods and pray they deliver to us, right? From,
There we go,
from
there we go.
Valhalla and beyond.
There you go, guys. Well, that has been us for the week. Hope you guys are having awesome games out there. And if you guys are playing other games, if you guys are taking a break, just checking out the stream again, let us know in the comments below what you're taking, if you are taking a break, what you're playing, what we're missing out on. Definitely hit us up. But I have been MeJosh, guys. You guys can hit me up at twitch.tv/MeJosh, twitter.com/MeJoshTV.
I've been Nicodemus81. You can get a hold of my Josh or myself. Give us feedback on the podcast here at Warships Weekly at gmail.com. And I'm also available at Twitter at Nicodemus81.
Perfect. And that is it for us, guys, this week. Enjoy your games. Have an awesome time, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace, bros.